Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sandra and this is Beyond Techsolutely, a place for understanding tech and creating exciting narratives around it. If this is your first time, welcome, and do not forget to share, like, and subscribe. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about a lost national ID tracking application. If this is something that you'd want to watch, stay tuned. Okay, so you're wondering, why am I talking about a lost identification tracking application? I actually think this is a platform that is essential, that has not been digitalized, that has not been there. I know if you have lost your national ID. Okay, actually, I've lost my national ID, I think a couple of days ago. And if you have lost your national ID, you're probably cringing with me like, but I know I can track it back. So I'm making a few calls and obviously just stopping by to just check at some certain particular offices, kiosks, banking halls to see if I've probably like misplaced it. You know, sometimes they ask you need your national ID and then they take it to photocopy. Sometimes when you're done, they don't give it back to you, or you're just so tired, you know, because sometimes the process is the lines, the queues are so long, you just, just overlook it and just leave it there. So when I went to a particular bank and I asked, I think I forgot my ID. They just pulled out a box of national IDs, licenses, cards that a lot of people are actually misplaced. So they'll pull out the card, they'll ask you which one. Their organizer put a date, like maybe IDs for this day. So if you have like a date range, it's easier to just, go and just check on that date range. But most, they just throw them somewhere. I know a particular bank, they call you if you leave your ID. They check your number, they'll call you like, oh, you've left your national ID or your driver's license, which is particularly cool. But I'm looking at most places where you've seen, national IDs just stuck on windows, printing places where people, normally go to photocopy their national ID. That in Zimbabwe, we do not have a national ID lost document tracking application. So as I was going through, I saw that there was once an application that was there, but they were charging money, which a lot of people were worried about. Why should you charge me for a lost document? And also, most people were worried about the data, how they save and how they check, or how they store the data. Because obviously, if you have my national ID and you want to put it up and upload it in a database, what happens? Because you already have details of my application. I mean, you can virtually, like identity theft kind of like. So I was actually thinking about it. So do we then don't have to do it? Is it like a data concern, or is it like a real life concern? So now I don't have my national ID, obviously, because I said I'm looking for it. Thank God, if I see it somewhere, I will be the happiest. But if I don't, it means I have to go redo the process. So this means, time wasted. My records for my ID are at a particular city that is not where I stay right now. So obviously I have to go there. I don't know if they are able to retrieve from the national one, but last time I checked, you have to go back to where your record is stored, because the records are not really integrated depending on the registries. So I have to go back to where I took the ID from. Then probably a police report in case someone is using my ID for something else. So I have to do that, get my ID, queue up the queues. Ooh, I'm dreading this, but anyway, I have to do it because election season is coming next year. I have to use my national ID for voting. I can't use my driver's license, so I need to use my national ID for voting as well. So I was just thinking, what if we have an application like what the guys who had their platform, the one that was being paid $4, what if we have a platform that tracks the national ID? Or what if our national ID are embedded with an NFC chip that, I don't know, you can then track if someone has lost it. But okay, I'm looking into a particular platform where uh, your national ID is lost. So you have a portal where, okay, I'm going to use an agent banking or a printing shop. You're going to have a platform where these people upload information. Okay, so they put all the information: my first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, national ID number, country of origin, where I was born, like basically all the information that's there, right? So the system encrypts this information. So if I've lost my national ID, I just go on www.lostnationalid.co.zw, or I find my nationalid.com.co.zw, right? So it then prompts me to ask me certain things like, what's the third number on your national ID? What's the letter on your national ID? What is your middle name? Or certain things like that. So it then has these verification processes, and it then tells you the last point, or the last or probably where the national ID is. So if it's put at the ZRP police or the offices, they tell you, okay, it's at this center. Or if it's at a particular bank, it tells you it's at maybe bank ABC Mount Pleasant branch. So obviously you then make ways into that to go and collect your national ID or whatever. And then this information is stored in a particular way that obviously if a person then clicks, they've collected, it's no longer in the database. They change the details, they delete completely the details and dispose of the information. If there are information stored about a particular person, probably the information is then populated to different registration portals. So if you want to get a new document or a new ID, you go to a particular registration office. They'll tell you, okay, have you checked if you've lost it, if you checked where it is? So you can then just key in your details there, the portal. If they tell you it's at this particular point, if you can make arrangement to go and collect before you then queue up into it. I actually think this is a great platform that we should have, because the process, if you've lost the ID, it's then different. It's a different story, and I'm actually dreading this information, hence coming up with such a technology solution. So I know the delicacy of the information within a national registration, and if it's being kept by different people, like how are people going to store the information? But it's also the same thing. If you want to think about it, a person just pastes a national ID on their windows, and everyone reads what's there. So that's actually another issue. So it's just a matter of tracking your notification in it. On the NFC point, I was saying, like, if your ID has an NFC chip, probably on the platform, you can then just go to input the information on it. So maybe the national ID has to be an e-ID. I know in Malaysia they have this. I spoke about this when I was doing my e-passport video, that they started with the e-passport, and also their national ID is electronic. So obviously if you have a chip, maybe the ZRP, instead of keying in all the information, they just tap, upload all the necessary information, and information is uploaded there. So if you are looking for your national ID, let's say your ID is not uploaded there, you can just search your information, maybe put like anything that you're looking for. You're looking for an ID, what's your first name? It says the database and tells you that it doesn't have. You can actually now then put your phone number so that you get notified whenever your details match the national ID that's being uploaded. I actually think this will save us a lot of time. With the whole registration of national IDs that are coming up, it saves a lot of cost with because if I lose my ID, then I have to get another ID, and I have to get another ID. I'll end up having 3 IDs or something like that. So the cost, the time that is being used, and it's also something that can be used to then maybe to make money out of it, then just probably market certain services that needs a particular person to have an ID. So maybe I'm looking at a loan company, a microfinance bank. All you probably need is your identification, and you want to get maybe a small business loan. So then you can now be sending information to those people. Oh, you have your ID, or what. You can then do this. If there is maybe a security company that are recruiting, you just need your national ID number. You just then recruit it. This can also be done for driver's licenses, for maybe birth certificates, as well as lost documents like certificates from school, A-level, degrees, because there is a lot of lost and found that happens. And currently you have to go at a particular Facebook where people post lost and find IDs, probably on Twitter, if someone who knows it. Like, it's just luck, but you are not always going to be on Facebook just checking out for new updates of anything, unless you just hope that someone you know sees the name and then puts it out there. So that's particularly what I was trying to look at, a lost national ID tracking application. So do let me know what you think. If you have lost your national ID, how was the process like? What did you go through? Did you have to redo, or you're just now using your passport? So do let me know. I know this can be essential because there are now a lot of pickpockets, people who grab, people who steal wallets, they take the money, they throw away the most important documents like your national ID. I understand. I can't say thieves, please be more lenient, because obviously they don't care. That's the reason why they're stealing from you anyway in the first place. But let's say someone sees a lost document, it then becomes like, your citizen responsibility to just then take up the lost ID and then upload information in a particular place. And if there's dropping, you can actually drop off at particular points the lost national ID. So no one has to charge anyone. There's a lot of information regarding that. There can also be probably a value-added service of delivery application. So if a person says, oh, can it be delivered here, you just calculate the cost. It's then pegged in a local courier service, delivered to you, and you have your lost identification delivered to you. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of security relating to verification of the original person who is taking up the document, because I might end up just looking, but that would be so sick. I mean, this beyond the solution. What I want to talk about is the application for a person to be able to track their normal lost national ID, and people to also applaud, so that you help everyone who is in need, who have lost their national ID. In as much as you try to be very, very careful with your national ID, a community self-help application that helps people who have lost or are trying to find their national ID is actually essential in Zimbabwe. And I think it's long overdue to have such an application. There are so many lost ID applications that are being used in different countries that people are using. So it's actually helping the community to use this application to help other people and other citizens into looking for this application. So actually, I was actually thinking, and another interesting added application is then to have a lost identification application form. So what you can now do with probably the Registrar General office is to have that lost identification form, so that people can also see what they need to bring when they have lost their identification, just the prerequisite, and also booking for a particular place. I know this is a little bit far-fetched, I know, but then obviously if you can just then pre-fill the information, or also get a checklist of things that you need to bring when you have lost your ID, and just to make it, probably you've lost it, want to apply for certain things, any other duplicates that you want. So do let me know if this is something that you'd want to do. Okay, so another added value on this platform, it can be used by the National Registrar Office. You can then apply for an e-national ID, like the paper version of it that just comes up with verification. So let's say you have not found your national ID, right? It's not uploaded on the platform. Probably what you need to do is not something that, what can I say? It's not something that you can do, or you can wait until you get, like I said on my case, I need to travel to a different city to get my national ID from there. So you can then apply for an e-national ID, where probably the registrar would just verify that your details are available. If obviously checks if there's no death record with versus the information that you've put. So if you're a valid citizen who is alive, they give you an e-document. So maybe I want to apply for maybe a job or a course, and they need a national ID. I can actually use that temporarily for the application process whilst I secure a new national ID that they can file for later, because either way they just need the information and the documentation. So if they can actually do that, that will be actually essential. So do let me know what you think about this application, and if you have lost your national ID, do let me know what you think and what happened and how you basically got it, if the process was smooth for you. Let me know what you think, and if you think this platform would be essential for you. Do not forget to share, like, and subscribe. Until next time, have a great day.